What is up, YouTube? So, as you can see, it's been a while since I posted a video. The Mustang is not done, but it's pretty much done. There's a lot to cover. I'm probably going to split it up. The interior is not done. I got tired of waiting for the new front seats to come, so I put the old ones back in. So, please excuse the horrible looking seats, but I am pretty pleased how everything came out. Now, I will do my best to explain how I did things, so on and so forth, as I've done in all my other videos. Alright, so as you can see, the headliner is in. Also, the center gauges with my custom auto sound 1973 radio. It's obviously not a 73 radio, it just looks like it. The thing I'm most proud of is these rear seats look like the front seats. So you can see we reupholstered them, minus my shoe print when I was messing with some things with the headliner. Unfortunately, I gotta take that out of there, but yeah, so I am super pleased with the way the rear seats turned out. I still have to do the door panels, and I'm super pleased with how those that center bezel turned out. Now I'm thinking about getting a new, I don't know what you want to call that, plastic piece that sits around the shifter. There's another one they make, it's a little longer, it goes into where the heater controls are at. It has a clock in it. Kind of think that's cool. So I think tomorrow I'm going to do the door panels. Like I said, I'm waiting for the front seats, but I'm pretty pleased with how the headliner turned out and the rear seat turned out. So we're going to talk about a few things. I'll do my best. Headliner, horrible. There's a couple other better videos that show you how to do it. I was not about to show you how to do a headliner because I needed all my hands and my buddies. So they're a pain in the butt. Basically, there is bows. If you ever assembled a tent, it pretty much looks like a smaller tent pole. Okay, and they go up pretty much where your seams are at, okay, and across. So on the other side of the on the other side of the headliner is exactly like a tent. You feed it through there. You will have to trim. There's extra material there, so your bows won't stick out. You'll actually have to trim and get them to stick out. Now, when you pull your bows out of a car, they are color coded, or they should be color coded. It's different per Mustang. Mine was a lighter shade of orange, darker orange, red, and I want to say the front was not colored. Okay, so as I took them out, I wrote down the color code: rear, second to rear, third to rear, front. And I also laid them out in order as well. A few mistakes I made. If I could go back and do it again, I would have waited for a warmer day to do it, and I would have put it out in the sun. The sun allows it to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get the wrinkles out, things of that nature. So there is that. So once you get all your bows in, I started from the rear and worked my way back. Now, I will do a disclaimer. The correct way to do a headliner is to pull the front windshield out and the rear windshield out. Because on the rear windshield, the headliner is supposed to come up, and the rear window actually rests on it. So it makes a much better seal. Same thing with the front. It's supposed to tuck up and in a little bit on the front. So we did not do it like that. I did not want to remove glass for multiple reasons. So if you are going to do a headliner, you should probably do it when you got all the glass out of the vehicle. So eventually, this is the first restore of the car. The paint, as you can see, has blemishes in it. I do plan to permanently redo the car and put the 351 Cleveland in it. Probably in the next 5 years, I'll start on that process. I'm taking a break. I've done a full boat motor rebuild, restored that, did a bunch of stuff to this last 2 years. So I am taking a break and pursuing other avenues of my life. So yeah, that was the headliner. Once you get it in, I worked from the rear up. So you hook them, there's little holes, there's 2 little ones. If you want more head space, you put it in the top one. If you want less head space, you put it in the second one. It allows the headliner to hang down more. Once you get in all the holes, you put all your screws in prior. That's how I did it. You can measure. So I put the top seatbelt screw in, the little coat hanger screws, the sun visor screws, all the trim screws, and the dome light screws. And then once the headliner's up, you make a little indentation with the utility knife, push the screw through. And then your trim on the side, all your trim up there, which you can't really see now, can you? All the trim up there, as you can see, that holds the headliner in, including the top trim there. So you can also see we got a little bit of wrinkle there, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with everything else. So once your trim's in, it clips up and in and it holds your sides. Then we trimmed all the excess away, and then for the rear, because we didn't take the rear window out, I used 3M adhesive, which is somewhere back in there. I'm not going to dig for it. Headliner adhesive, and I sprayed the whole rear section of it and glued it to that, glued it to the weather stripping. It is not perfect. There is one blemish we made. Really can't see it right there. Outside of that, it turned out really good. So for doing it the wrong way, again, I will encourage you, if you're going to do headliners the correct way, I would definitely pull the windows out. So when this goes through its second restoration in 5 years, when I redo the body and I do redo all the glass, that's the plan. I'll either probably redo the headliner again. Yeah, it's a waste of money, but I planned on heavily driving the car for 5 years. I wanted a headliner in it. I wanted modern amenities. So with that being said, that was a headliner. I did also get AC carpet. Very freaking easy. Same concept as a headliner. You have your still plate screws, your kick panels, your shifter bezel you need to poke holes in, and the seat platforms, and a few other odds and ends, and your seat belt brackets. But the carpet was really easy. That was not difficult at all. Center bezel was really easy. I'm not really going to go through all that. Wiring, radio, self-explanatory, the gauges, etc. So I will make one other note. So these gauges are not the stock Mustang gauges. All right, this bezel came with oval gauges. This is not a Mach 1 car, so it did not come with this center bezel with the gauge pods in it. So essentially what I did was I had to Dremel this out. These are 2-inch gauges. I had to Dremel it out. And as you can see, the car's still warm because I pretty much came back from a drive. And just keep dremeling it out until they fit. And once they fit, they slide in. Now, the original Mustang gauges, they bolt screwing from the back. So when you're wiring these, just make sure you allow yourself extra wire. But yeah, so if you're not using the factory gauges, because Ford's original gauge pods, if you get this off of, they sell these on National Parts Depot, CJ Pony Parts, and Classic Industries. That's as far as I know. There might be more. So you will need to Dremel them out. Other than that, the install is pretty simple, just like your other bezel. So now I will make a longer video once the exhaust is done. I got Flowtech headers, long tubes. I had a nightmare of an experience trying to fit shorties on here. I'm sure they make them to fit. I'm sure there's a... Oh my God. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Set you right there for a second. Okay. I'm sure they make shorties to fit, but those are my long tube headers, as you can see. This car is low. It's on Qa1 Shocks. I will get to that in a second. I had to make multiple adjustments. Now these headers are made for H pipes or X pipes, so the headers literally go like this. So if you're going to run pipes back, it's going to curve into obviously the drive shaft if you're not running an H pipe. So to get it roadworthy for the time being, I rigged something up. You can't really see, can you? No, you really can't. You can kind of see the pipe there, and you can see how low my header is to the ground. So good news is we've scraped a couple times. So like I said, I had to play with the ride height, and now you can see the subframe connector that is under here as well. Yeah, the Flowtechs fit really easy. They both fit up from the bottom. This one we had to move the spark plugs, take the spark plugs out, and shock tower brace, but they fit up from the bottom. And the passenger side was even easier. There's a steering box there, but these have a special, like, they're made to mold around the steering box. So this fit way better than the shorties did. Just make sure your car is jacked up high enough. That way you can get it, get under it far enough to get it in the air. So, that was the exhaust. So I'm going to quick talk about the Qa1 Shocks. And if you're doing a suspension on your Mustang, kind of what I've found so far, Qa1 Shocks are effing amazing. This car, I had it. So when you look at your shock body, it is fully threaded. You need to buy a spanner wrench separately. This guy right here, this is how you adjust your shocks. The spring height. The shocks itself are adjusted by a little knob. It has a minus and plus. It goes up to 16 and it starts at 1. You get a little instruction manual with it like I have here. I went over it in a previous video. So when I originally did the car, I had it 4 threads from the bottom, so it was really low. And I had it on setting 8. We had a lot of clearance problems outside my garage. There's some concrete missing from the header scraping. I bottomed out a few times driving this pig, and so we made some adjustments. So I went from 4 threads to 8 threads up. And there's a locking nut on the bottom, so you got to make sure it's locked into place. That worked pretty well. Only bottomed out once. Pushing the car pretty hard because it does handle much better. Still had issues getting in the garage a little bit. If I came straight, if I came at an angle, it was fine. So today I put it up to 10 threads up from the bottom, and I have not bottomed out yet. So I did turn the dampener from 8 to 10, and I don't know if I really like that or not. I'm unsure. I do know I pushed the car so hard and it rode so rough that the Passenger side mirror is no longer on the car. So I'll have to fix that at some point in time. It had a little crack in it since I had it, and I guess the handling and the shock of pushing cars so fast on some of these good old Pennsylvania roads, it had its last gap. So yeah, the Qa1 shocks are amazing. I do not have the double adjustable shocks, but so I have the Qa1 fully adjustable shocks. I also have an 1.125" sway bar from Total Control Products up front. I have a 3/4 inch sway bar in the back. I'll see if I can get under the car to show you. And I have Gabriel Hijacker air shocks in the back. I also put on 1-inch drop leaf springs. There you go. You can see the rear sway bar and the leaf springs. So that's the also from Total Control Products. Wait, maybe you can see my horrible exhaust job too. Hey, there it is. They're from Total Control Products. A 3/4 inch rear sway bar. So tires. I originally, before the car had all this handling, I have Cooper Cobra. They are great for your, everyday use, not really for handling. So I can put a bigger tire on the back, as you can see. The front, not so much. I might be able to go a tad bit wider. I doubt it, because we got only a little bit of clearance there. So tires are going to play a big part that I found. Second thing is the air shocks. Now I have them up to 75 psi. They just don't work for me for handling. I know they make a Coney gas shock eventually. I think I'm going to switch to that when I fully restore the car. The other thing I have, don't quote me on this, I want to say 273 or 275 rear gears in here, or 295s. I don't know, it's in the twos with the C4 automatic. I run out of gear. So I can do like 95 and screaming at about a little over 4,000 RPMs. So with this suspension on there, that's only scratching the surface on some of the roads. So the gearing with the handling is not the best. So, but overall at click number 8 on there, the ride's decent. At click number 10, it starts getting a little rough. I can only imagine at click 16 is probably like driving a brick down the road, but I'm pretty sure if you did click 6 or 4, it would probably ride pretty nice. But I am very impressed. There's no roll on this car anymore. When you go into a turn, it does not roll. It grips as good as the tires can grip. So far, big fan of the Qa1 shocks. Now, I will do another video wrapping everything up with the front seats, with the door panels, because I got to still do that. Little side skirting. We're going to bend the exhaust over the axles. Those are Roush mufflers. We're going to stick them on there. It's straight pipe now. It wakes up the dead. So I'll do a video on that. My goal for this car, so there will be quite a large gap of Mustang videos. I'll probably do some boat videos. I got to restore the deck on this Cub Cadet, so for the people who watch my Cub Cadet content, there will be some more Cub Cadet videos. For people that watch my boat videos, I'm going to do a Lowrance review of how I hooked it up, things of that nature. I'll probably do some Mustang videos here and there, but when I go to take this car off the road, I will do a better job at documenting it, because it will be cutting some body panels out, the rear quarter on the other side shot. I do plan on fixing that rust there this year just with Bondo, but I also do plan on doing that correctly 5 years from now. So my goal is to put some money away in the next 5 years. That 351 Cleveland is going to go in this car. It's going to be a 408 stroker. I had that priced out. I'm also going to convert this to a 5-speed because I want more top end. And I'm going to change the rear gears to 355s is my happy spot, I think, for a manual transmission. With the gears that are in here now, you cannot run a manual transmission. So that is going to be my setup, drivetrain wise. As you see the car, it will probably either be black cherry pearl or some kind of red with the black hood. I might do the stripes. I don't know yet. It will get all new glass, sequential LED taillights in the back. Yeah, and full LED lights, and it will get a Mach 1 grille in it. This is not a true Mach 1 grille car, but I like the tri-bar Mustang logo. And I like the look of the Mustang. So, the Mustang logo. Also, these Lumitronics LED halo lights, freaking amazing. Makes a big difference driving at night. Great product, very easy to install. Hooks right into the original wiring harness. So, yeah, so that's kind of my goal with the car. The Cleveland, I think we kind of have it around build estimate 550, 600 horse. I don't want anything more than that for these streets here in Pennsylvania. My buddy has a Pro Charge Mustang. It's a little over 700 rear wheel horsepower, and that is a handful to drive on these roads. So this car is not going to be a 9-second car. This car was for just to drive around and enjoy, sling it into some back roads, have good handling, have some good amenities, comfort amenities. That's why we went with the new seats, the better suspension. I might do disc brakes next year. And I have some different rims and tire combination I'm going to go with at some point in time. I also, unpopular probably to some of the 73 enthusiasts, I do plan on putting a subwoofer in there as well. But I wanted this car for me and what I like to do. I drive this car. I probably have had it for 2 years. I put about 15,000 miles on it, if not more. Now with the modern suspension, it's much better to drive. Once I put the disc brakes on it, it'll be even better to drive. So I'm very pleased with how this car is transformed with the new seats. It has a lot of lumbar support in it, so I won't feel like I'm gonna fly out the door or go in the passenger seat when I'm hitting the turn. So that was a little bit of review, what I did, how I did the headliner. I'll talk a little bit more on the door panels and how I ran the exhaust, and I'll also show you the seats when they come, the company I got them from. Also at the end of this, I'll kind of give you an estimate. I saved most of the receipts on the build price for the parts. Now what I don't know is like the welder, the welding wire. I mean, I didn't have a welder, I had to buy a welder. So I can guesstimate because I roundabout know what the welder costed, the gas, plus, you know, the consumables that went into this, the amount of grinding discs, cutting wheels, saw blades, because they did all the floors in it. So I will not be able to give you the totality costs with everything because I didn't save receipts for the, you know, consumables and stuff like that. But most of the parts I think I did save the receipts for. So I will do my best to compile a list and then kind of go through what the cost was for everything. So again, we did the floor pans, front and rear seat upholstery, subframe connector, Flowtech long tube headers, Qa1 fully adjustable shocks, front and rear sway bar, lowering leaf springs, the center bezel with the gauges, headliner, carpet underlayment, door panels, and that comes with your armrests and all of that stuff, and the Lutronics LED halo lights. I think I'm missing something else, and the exhaust piping kit, and that chrome strip that is right over there up against the wall. For there, I'm pretty sure that is it. Pretty sure. Oh, and the seat platforms as well. I had to buy seat platforms. So that is what went into this year, and probably, oh, that's right, the custom auto sound radio, and I got a front speaker for it, and a steering wheel, which did not go on yet, because that's going to be a headache in itself to put on. So that's what went into this. I'll do my best to compile a parts list on it. So sorry for this video being so long. I'm sure some people like it. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Not always the best at getting back, but at some point in time I will get back if I can answer it, or direct message me. My name is on my YouTube channel, so direct message me on Facebook Messenger and I'll do my best to answer your question. I'm a part of quite a few Mustang clubs, so I answer their questions as well, or I ask questions, vice versa. So until next time, YouTube, thank you.